Welcome back to the Canadian Corner, folks. Today we'll be discussing some hot topics that are sure to make sure you know your onions from the week. We got Tay Bumstead, Nat Vu, Ton Fish, and James Core with you live today. Let's kick it and get the barrel rolling. Starting off, we got the biggest news event recently. The Edmonton Grads women's sports team won 1863 to 297 in the Olympics. They became the best basketball team in the entire competition. 24 undefeated games, but didn't get any medals because basketball isn't considered an official Olympic sport. This was a change breaker for women because this team shows that basketball can be an official sport. It also goes to show that women can be good at sports when there isn't many sports they are offered to them. Our reputation should be known because this women's team created stomping records.
We got the huge Canadian top story that's sure to knock your socks off. This involves Britain and Canada coming together to free Canada of its own independence. The Statute of Westminster was a law clarifying that Canada can make its own decisions and be free of Britain's control. While this law was originally created in Britain, Canada was the center core of the whole law actually being created. After World War I, the Dominions in Canada had desired for their own nationhood. Mackenzie King and Lord Balfour, prime ministers of the separate nations, met, and King argued that Canada didn't want to do everything Britain said. Britain then came to the decision to create the law. After Canada had signed it, certain other dominions besides Canada are still under Britain's control, but most are granted freedom. But the original statute in which the law was named after represents the rights of each dominion that was under Britain's colony since the beginning of World War I.
A quick break, but we'll be back after this. Pabulum is processed cereal for infants originally marketed by the Med Johnson Company, introducing new baby Pabulum, an easy-prepared, pre-cooked baby food that starting your child off with is the right way to go. There's about 2 grams of protein per 5 tablespoons, 25 carbs to help your child grow, and develop 0 grams of fat. Pabulum is easily digested without causing diarrhea or constipation and less chances of an allergic reaction. Pabulum will affect your children in the social aspects of eating solids with the rest of the world. Try it today.
Welcome back to Canadian Quarter. I'm going to be talking about this brand new efficient tech that could save millions of Canadians and people worldwide. We have the bee's knees, a new technology that is groundbreaking, the cure to one of the leading causes of death, diabetes. Last night, Sir Frederick G. Banting, Charles H. Beat, J.J.R. McLeod, and a special dog has found out how to cure diabetes. They found a new medicine called insulin because of their successful testing in the University of Toronto's medical building. They tied the ducts of a pancreas from a dog to discover the medicine. The pancreas is what regulates our blood sugar and produces that insulin. More time later, the insulin had come out. They filtered a pancreas, warmed the insulin to room temperature, and injected it into another duct-tied dog. They noticed a good increase in blood sugar and became confident that this would cure diabetes. Now we will have a higher global population because death rates of diabetes will be much lower. We have a very special guest stopping by today. Please welcome our guest, Henry Ford.
Thank you for having me on the show.
So, starting off, what was your vision or goal from producing the Model T cars?
My vision is to produce a luxury car that not only the rich can afford, but everyone can afford. My goal is that everyone in Canada is driving a Model T.
Do you think this goal is reasonable?
Yes, I do think it is reasonable because cars made life so much easier, from getting places faster to having fun with friends. The only problem with cars is the cost. Making them affordable add a Model T to everyone and their families in Canada.
How do you plan on providing out such big numbers?
I'm introducing the invention of the assembly line for the first time. This will provide jobs for everyone and get your cars built much faster and cheaper than before.
Very smart. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today with Mr. Ford. Thank you for coming, Henry.
We now have a special song that changed the course of the 20s. It was composed in 1923. The dance that goes along with this song, known as the Charleston, came to characterize the times. Here it is, the Charleston, by composer James P. Johnson.
Have you ever wanted to get places faster, make life easier, have fun with friends? Look no further to the future of transportation with the Model T from the automobile company Ford. This car gives you the chance to change your life, making it easier to get a Ford. Don't have roads? The Model T can be driven on the roughest conditions. Don't have enough money to afford a car? The Model T is the most affordable than other cars. Get your Model T today.
The movie has hit the cinema, The Circus, starring Charlie Chaplin, Myrna Kennedy, Henry Bergman, Steve Murphy, etc. It is a comedy romance silent film revolving around a person whose avoidance of police officers create laughter and applause of the circus. When he's employed by the circus, he falls for a showwoman who's interested in an acrobat who's also in the circus. This movie was impressively filmed in Turkey and is one of the many that famous actor Charlie Chaplin has starred in. He has originally become famous for his movies, which many Canadians across the country enjoyed watching. Silent movies, including The Circus, are famous for their comedy and great acting across Canada and the world.
Thank you lots to the many folks out there for listening to this week's Canadian Corner broadcast. Make sure to watch out for those big topics and hits of the week. Also, call in and ask us if you have any questions, comments, or opinions on things we've discussed, and we'll be sure to answer them on our next broadcast. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you folks next time.
No one else, it seems, ever shares my dreams. Without you, dear, I don't know what I'd do. In this heart of mine, you live all of the time. Oh, Sue, just you.